shoot everybody. That's violent. That was mean. Sorry, I take it back. Zoop. Tin it. Suck that bullet back into the gun. Fifth. Nah, dude, you're first, Marshall. Miggity Marshall. Miggity Marshall on that track. You do need one of those. Have I told you that, Marshall? You need your version of "We Got London on the Track." We gotta come up. You gotta come up with something, man. You have one coming? Dope. Good call. Good call, my friend. Good call. Because, like, you get somebody big to put that on there, and it's like, you know, whatever it is, whatever you got cooking, you know, Marshall Manson. People are going to be like, fuck, dude, I want to get on a Marshall Manson track, and then you're fucking set. Get out of my way, because this shit about to go. I'm doing 500 and out of control. No! I heard about the animator shit. That sucks. It's cool, dude. It's all good. We found a bunch of new animators. We actually found a really promising one who, interestingly enough, is from Uruguay. He's a Uruguayan animator that has done work for, like, so what we're doing in response to this shit, I like sharing this shit with you guys, even if it's not all that interesting. I don't share particulars, obviously, but one of the things that we've learned is it's better to find somebody who's been vetted through some actual professional work. Because this other studio that we'd engaged, once again, I'm not throwing their name out there because it's not my intent to besmirch or smear somebody else's fucking business. I think they did us dirty, but I don't do that whole witch hunt shit, right? But this other company we engaged, they'd worked for a lot of clients, but a lot of it was just kind of like corporate work. Like doing, like, you know, this is a drop of water. Right? It constitutes, you know, blah, you know, the whole shit.
This is what sexual harassment
right,
is.
just the weird, like, corporation videos, right? And there was some stuff on there that looked like passion project stuff that looked really cool, right? But truth of the matter is that if we look at the body of their work, they didn't have anything impressive. So I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna go find some animators that have done some shit for some TV shows and see how much it costs to hire these fucking guys. They can't work 24/7, 365 on doing TV show clips and shit. So it's like, we started looking at those guys. Turns out their price range is pretty much in the same ballpark as these other dudes that we talked to. And a lot of them have worked for, like, the Sci-Fi Channel, Cartoon Network. The dude that we're looking at, like, our favorite of the bunch, I don't know if we'll be able to get him or the price will be right or whatever, dude that lives in Uruguay. He's done work for the Sci-Fi Channel. He's done work for Cartoon Network, CNN. I mean, he's got, like, some actual shit under his belt, you know what I mean? That shows that he's not a fucking flake, because you don't get multiple corporate jobs like that you know, that are going out for broadcast quality animation by sucking at it. Or being shitty, or being a fucking hard to work with guy, or not holding up your end of the bargain, or whatever the fuck. And so it gives a little credibility to an animator when they've found their way to that type of success, to that level of success in any way. So, you know, it's a setback, but it is what it is. It's fun shit. It's cool shit. You know, and it like, look, dude, even I get real frustrated sometimes. I think I was telling you guys last night maybe about how frustrated I get with setbacks and shit like that. But I got to tell you, man, when you're out on your own, you own your own business and you are your own fucking business, right? So TJ, Scotty, and I are not just business owners. There's a difference between, owning a fucking sports store and making a podcast, right? We could be fucking partners in a sports store and not really give two hoots about what fucking goes on in there. It's all about the dollars in, dollars out, right? But when you are your business, that's a whole different layer. So we own a business and we are that business. The business is us. You know what I mean? Not just as leaders, but as the commodity that is being sold. And so when you're in that fucking position, you just have to fucking realize that number one, every force in nature that exists that is has anything to do with the corporate fucking success story is aligned against you because you're trying to cut out all their middlemen. Like Marshall is a good example. His ass is fucking in here, and I love gassing Marshall up, dude. This fucking guy. What happens when a guy like Marshall, who got clear talent and shit, takes his video that he worked his whole fucking year on, learned how to do all this shit, to these corporate outlets and goes, hey, like, do me the solid that you do everybody else? They turn him down, right? Because he's not putting out something that's easily fucking packaged for them. And it worries them a little bit. And it's a little edgy. And so guess what Marshall has to do? You got to build it on his own. Marshall is Marshall Manson. So when he's not being Marshall Manson, he's got to be Marshall the businessman. He's got to be Marshall the fucking editor, Marshall the producer, Marshall the guitar player. What do we got? Cockroaches? Yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork. Now that it's all fucking nice and warm like they like it. It's this light out here.
Yeah.
You kill that light, they'll fucking go.
Yeah. Then you can't see.
That's okay. Dude, I've streamed in the dark before. That's
You want me
fine.
to turn it off? Or
I mean, no, it's fine. It doesn't bug me. Just let them fucking do their thing. These are those big fucking like wood roaches that come out at night and seek the fucking light and shit. Amelia's on the hunt. He's
I scared him off.
Yeah, he's a sneaky fucker. There's another one on the wall behind you.
Oh, is
See it?
there? Oh, shoot. Ah.
See? They're sneaky. They're fast.
Cricket managed to disable them.
Yeah, well, he just catches them and like beheads them or pulls a couple legs off and leaves them there.
Better at it than I am.
Yeah, I mean dude. That's why it's not even worth fucking chasing a roach. There's no point. You end up looking like the fool. Me and my roomies watch Alien tonight. My first time seeing it. Cool. Well, congratulations.
We still haven't watched Alien together.
The first one. That's true. We haven't. We skipped ahead and watched Aliens.
Well, I watched Covenant with you.
Jello there. I mean, bruh. Jello. Jello. Oh, man. So what's going on in the world today? People fighting, feuding, looting. You know, what's going on? What's happening? Catch me up. What's happening? You tell me something that happened in the world today, I gotta take. Nothing much. Man, that's so untrue. It's so fucked up that we're in a position that we feel like that's true, though. That, you know what, that feeling that nothing happened today, even though it's information glut, bro. We all suffer under information glut. Oh my God, dude. All right. This is a hot take here, I admit, but let me start by saying that, like, I appreciate that fucking Juneteenth is a holiday officially now. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That being said, watching all these Democrats, there was a video of these Democrats singing like a black liberation song. I don't know the song, but it was mostly white Democrats singing it. Nancy Pelosi standing in the middle. It's June 19th. Juneteenth is like celebrating emancipation, right? So anyway, I'm watching this gaggle of fucks that can't get a goddamn thing done for the American people stand there with a plaque that says Juneteenth, official fucking government holidays. All of them, like all the white people mumbling along like they know this fucking black liberation song. And all I could think of was a Malcolm X quote that I'm gonna butcher, where he said something like, I can't remember the exact quote. He said something like, the white man will try and sell us platitudes instead of progress, or something to that effect. The white man will come with platitudes and expect us to accept platitudes in the place of progress, or something like that. That's the point, right? So that's what this Juneteenth shit is. They ain't done a fucking thing for a black person. They ain't done a fucking thing to address systemic racism or anti-immigrant fucking racism. Not a fucking thing. This is all just bullshit. It's a way for them to get a photo op and try and look like they're out there fucking struggling for the black folks. You know how fucking uncontroversial and easy it is to get a fucking federal holiday declared? There's a billion federal holidays that come and go that nobody knows about. This is just bullshit. It makes me sick. Juneteenth being a holiday doesn't make me sick. This Congress standing up there, mumbling along to a song they pretend to know, while the few black people sprinkled in the audience actually sing it because they do care about this shit, and watching them how they can functionally do not a fucking thing for a black person in this country or a brown person. It just has smacks to me of them wearing the fucking Zulu scarves and shit and doing the Wakanda kneel and shit after George Floyd died or some fucking thing. I can't even remember why they did that shit. They put on like fucking African tribal scarves and headdresses and shit and did a fucking weird photo op. You guys remember this shit? It's the same shit. It's Malcolm X fucking called it all the way back then. It's one of the reasons his ass is dead. The white man will come to us with fucking platitudes and call it progress. I don't even know if he used the word platitudes. That's the thing. I know it's progress. Some like the white man comes to us with, I can't remember what he said. Something like that. That's the spirit of it anyway. It just makes me sick. Makes me sick to see them scalping fake ass fucking street cred like they're for anything to do with fucking uplifting black people. The dude at the fucking top of this party that promised to sign this Juneteenth bill just as soon as he could, opposed free busing for black kids, said he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. So opposed desegregation, has fucking never met a piece of austerity legislation that he didn't like, has signed off on every war where a black person fucking went and died for nothing that's ever come across his desk as a politician. Served as VP while Obama, another fucking do nothing, sipped fucking bottled water out of a glass in Flint, Michigan, performatively, while their children were fucking getting sick from leaded water. You see what I mean? We forget this shit at our own peril, y'all. You forget this shit at your own peril. Joe Biden is that man. He's the same fucking guy. Same suit, same stuffed suit. Let me tell you what, dude. You guys, if the wind starts blowing against black people in this country and that motherfucker's in power, you think he's going to take your back? He only has your back when it behooves him to do so, when he can do something easy like sign some performative Juneteenth. Juneteenth is an official American holiday. Yay, photo op. Comes to putting food on your table as a black person, or a job for you, or a living wage, or good education for your children, they could give a fuck.
Yeah, you can see that because it passed like unanimously in the Senate or whatever. Like
This is something we can do that's easy, that costs us fucking nothing, no political capital, and absolutely does functionally nothing to fight the system of oppression that's kept black people down since they were brought here. The system of cyclical fucking exploitation and otherizing. Yeah, let's make a holiday.
It's just another fucking day off for them. Like,
Yeah.
South
Yeah, they'll
Carolina-
you know what'll happen? They'll take Juneteenth off now.
Yeah, like I think South Carolina's taking Friday off for all their government shit. It's like, cool, another day off.
You know what else will happen on Juneteenth? A bunch of black people will be working in fucking low income, fucking low wage jobs. Because guess who don't get fucking Juneteenth off? Pretty much anybody that works in the service industry, or the trucking industry, or the shipping industry. Give me a break, bro. Juneteenth is now a national holiday. Now get back to work. Get back on the plantation, you motherfuckers. You kidding me?
It ain't gonna stop anyone from getting evicted.
Fuck no, it ain't. They got nothing for that. 19 days or 18 days, by the way, until rent moratoriums and eviction moratoriums run out nationally. Not a peep from this Congress about what it plans to do about that. But they had time to fucking sing some fucking song and hold up the Juneteenth plaque today. Dude, you gotta watch that shit. Go find Nancy Pelosi pretending she knows the words to that fucking song and listen to the listless... I don't know what song it is, but it's an old fucking civil rights song. The black people in the audience all knew it word for word. And all the white, crusty old Chuck Schumer motherfuckers, Pelosi's, were sitting there going like, man, do you love it? We got hot sauce in our purse, y'all. This is just such fucking garbage. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is the antithesis of progress. This should be a slap in the face to black people, that they had the balls to make Juneteenth a holiday before they got you health care. Fuck these people. How about we make Juneteenth a holiday after we get black people health care? After we get black people out of the fucking ghettos, after we get black people decent education and decent access to fucking good labor that pays their fucking bills. After we actually lift the black community up out of Jim Crow in the South, where it just never really happened in a lot of areas. How about we tackle that? And then, as a celebration, we'll make Juneteenth a fucking holiday. Nope. They cashed it in now. So they didn't have to do fuck all else for the rest of this cycle. They're hoping that making Juneteenth a holiday is going to be enough to get black people to show up to the polls en masse and make sure they don't lose their fucking margin. And goddamn, I hate to tell you this, black people are not that fucking stupid.
They just corralled like literally every black person they could find in a 10-mile radius to like hoard around Pelosi and Biden.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Just so stupid.
All right, everyone, find a black person quick.
Yep.
Gotta get this photo up.
Get some blacks in here. This looks weird with all of us whiteys standing around singing a song. Let's get some blacks in here. You know, they got soul and rhythm. They're good at that performing and singing. Get some of the blacks in here. Unreal. Fucking Nancy Pelosi sitting there grinning like a fucking unwrapped mummy, like she's ever done a goddamn thing for a black person. Unreal. These people get away with it. You got the fucking squad doing it too. You got Ilhan Omar crowing like, Juneteenth is a holiday. How about healthcare, please? You know what we should make a holiday? The first day when we get a fucking national healthcare system in this country. That should be a fucking holiday. That's gonna save more lives than anything else. All over the goddamn social media crowing. I saw them all fucking, they took a picture. They were like, we're staying late tonight and we had Chinese food. And it's just them mugging for the cameras. And I'm like, well, I hope you come up with some health care. No. They were up late at night fucking getting ready for the Juneteenth celebration. Just like, fucking get the fuck out of here, man. Bunch of charlatans.
Yeah, let's do it like 2 days before the actual thing.
It's like, what?
It's like the equivalent of like, oh, let's make a tweet because something's trending on Twitter kind of shit.
I hate when Biden tweets support for shit he actively killed. Of course. Because dude, it's just ridiculous. Like, yeah, these people will tweet support for healthcare but won't vote for it. These people will fucking stand in front of their constituency and talk about how if you don't fucking elect me again, you're not going to get your health care. But when it comes to actually forcing the vote, they don't do it. When a piece of legislation that's must pass comes along and they've got the power to act like a fucking voting block and piggyback some health care legislation onto this motherfucker, else hold it up and make everybody look bad, that's the power. They had that. They didn't use it. They still haven't.
They're gonna be too fucking whipped to hold up any budget. It's like it's well within their power to fucking shut
The
down
infrastructure
the
bill is being
government
turned into Swiss cheese right now, babe.
Yeah.
It was pre-compromised from the jump because it's the Biden administration, so it's half a Republican bill. And then the Republicans, of course, get to negotiate down from there.
I just mean like when the next budget comes out, they have every power to fucking hold strings on that, but they ain't gonna.
They may not have the power anymore.
Yeah.
The next budget comes out in 2022 after the election. So if they fucking lose their majority in the House, whoops, or the Senate, whoops. There goes your fucking... See, this is the thing. Like, back in my day, this was supposed to be a cause for celebration when a party held all three branches of the legislature. Right? Well, I mean, holds both branches of the legislative and the executive. It's like a rubber stamp. That's how it was sold to us back in the day. It was just like, oh my God, so much shit can get done. And now what do we get? We get excuses for why nothing can get done, even though we have a fucking, oh, we don't have enough of a majority. It's like, you're going to have less of one in 2022. Because guess what matters to people? Turkey on their table, as my dad would say. That's what matters to people at the end of the fucking day. What do the gas prices look like? How much turkey is on my table? And they ain't put an extra helping of fucking stuffing on the plate. So a lot of people are going to waltz over to the other guy and give him a shot. Oops. There went our moment. And the fact that there are some leftists that argued for them to sit there on their hands and wait for their majority to disappear is like, are you kidding me? You really think they're going to be able to coast on do nothing through 2022? Nobody ever learns. I hate the fake platitudes, promises of change from politicians. Just be honest about doing nothing and they'd still get the same votes because sometimes people vote for them because they say they're doing nothing, because they're holding everything up. Mm-hmm. They're being obstructionist to make sure nothing ever gets voted on. It's over, bro. Thanks. Thanks for the $2. I'll let people read that at their leisure. I'm not gonna fucking bother. Jams. How do we get an entire community, the black community, to start caring about educations? This is going to be crazy, Jams. I'll answer your question for you because I don't know if you know, but there is an answer to that. It's actually a pretty complex topic, so let's dive into it, okay? It has a whopping one step, and that is, how do you get blacks into education? Well, you properly fund education and you make education fun, interesting, and engaging for black children. And that whole generation of black children that comes out of that educational system will have better expectations and better things to say about education. There we go. Oof, sorry, we burned a fucking whole hour doing that. Oh, wait, no, it only took about 30 seconds. Nope. You just make education functional and kids will love it. Source was in school at a time where it was still semi-functional and loved going. And so did all my friends. It was fun to see your friends. It was fun to be in class. We did cool projects, kept us busy, got to go on field trips, properly funded. And my view on education coming out of the education system was, wow, I was lucky to have met so many special teachers that helped guide me along the path. That doesn't exist anymore. Since I was a child, that has changed. Amelia feels completely differently about her fucking high school experience. You know what I mean? And her whole schooling experience. So, like, your contention would be black people are disinterested in the education system. Go attend a fucking inner city school. Go attend an inner city school and sit through a class. And I want you to tell me how interested you are by the end of the day. Sit through a whole day. Sit in a class that is filled with black students in the inner city all day, every class, go to every period, and come out the end of the day and lie to my face and tell me that you're engaged or interested in going back another day. So if that's the truth, then the answer is clear. Yeah, come to one of the schools that I used to work at back near my hometown. Go to one of the fucking rural schools that's like 85, 90% migrant kids and see if you can count the amount of mice that run around in their portable classrooms. See if you can count the amount of days that their internet is down because it's just the infrastructure is shitty out there. See if you can count the amount of paltry pennies they have to spend on any student enrichment. So there's your answer, bud. Didn't know that education had actually gotten worse. How did your witness of education while you were a technician compare to childhood? Apples and oranges, bro. In the same fucking wheelhouse, I actually worked at a lot of the schools I grew up in, including my K-6 elementary school. The entire time I worked for the school district, that was one of my schools. So it was familiar, but completely different. The class sizes were almost triple what they used to be when I was a kid. So when I was in 4th grade, right, there were 15 kids in my class. In my class, you know, there were multiple 4th grade classrooms, but there were 15 children in my class. My mom has my yearbook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 kids. The average now in California schools, 35 to 1. 35 being the students, 1 being the teacher. My 6th grade class. How many kids do you think were in my 6th grade class? I don't know the exact number, but I remember looking into this way back. Low 20s. I think there was 21 kids in my 6th grade class. My 7th grade class, under 20. There were 19 kids in my 7th grade class or so. So you see what I mean? That's the difference. The Common Core have any impact on the schools you worked in? Absolutely. It standardized the fuck out of everything. Removed autonomy from teachers. Engendered boredom and dissatisfaction and disillusionment in students. Ignored aptitudes. Focused on negatives. And made kids not want to go to school. And made teachers not want to teach. And made principals not want to principal. That's what it did. But people forget, like, people think Common Core came out of the void. When I started working at the school district, Common Core hadn't been implemented yet. We were still under No Child Left Behind, which was George Bush's overture towards it. So George Bush started the let's standardize education with No Child Left Behind. And Common Core came and took everything that was horrible about that program and doubled down on it. And made it widespread national law. Happened under Obama, by the way. Not to speak an uncomfortable truth. Oh yeah, dude. Bush being this lovable uncle figure now, it makes me sick, dude. As a dude that lived through the fucking Bush years and was an adult through the Bush years, bro. This guy is not your cuddly fucking uncle. He's a monster, bro. I don't use that term fucking lightly, but if there ever was a monster on the planet Earth, it's George W. Bush. That fucking guy is a crazy religious zealot who didn't give a fuck about anything. You talk about a scary dude. See, that's the thing. People try to fearmonger me on Trump. Dude, I lived through George W. I've seen what that looks like. The people he surrounded himself with were sharks, bro. Not these meme lords that fucking made up Trump's team. Bannon and fucking all this shit. Bunch of fucking alt-right memesters and shit. These were stone cold CIA motherfucking killers. So you want to talk about a real motherfucker that set us back a generation? George W. Bush ought to be the bogeyman the left is still fucking scared of. Trump didn't rise to it. Sorry. Lived through them both. Trump was a fucking toddler in compared to George W. Bush. George W. Bush literally shredded your right to privacy. That happened on his watch. Utterly took the fucking Constitution and ripped it up. Instituted the most pernicious and open spying program that you could possibly imagine. Invaded not one, but 2 countries under false pretenses. And set in motion a war that has taken trillions of dollars of American capital made by American workers and turned it into death, destruction, degradation, and support of strongman regimes in the Middle East. That happened on Bush's watch. So you want to fearmonger about Trump to me? Sorry, Zoomer. I'm too old. Trump was a goddamn gift in comparison to George W. Bush. A gift. He was a gift-wrapped puppy dog of nothing. What an ineffectual buffoon he was. You want somebody to fear? Fear getting a Bush. Unless it's Jeb. I really don't think you have anything to fear from Jeb. But fear getting somebody on the level of George W. Bush that has that weird combination of certainty that comes with religiosity and absolutely just ruthless capitalistic instinct. So I'm sorry, dude. You want me to be afraid of that fucking stupid makeup-wearing orange orangutan buffoon that stands like a centaur? Dude, that motherfucker was a cuddly pillow in comparison to George W. Bush and the damage that that man did to this fucking country, to civil liberties, and to the working class. Thanks again, Noxie. I appreciate the $5, and I guess people can read that if they want to. Why were people willing to protest Vietnam so much, but now with so much more information, we're willing to be that's you answered your own question at the end of it. What's your fucking name? Tathar? Whatever. You answered your question at the end of it. I hate people that have names that are fucking. Maybe that's actually your first name, and if it is, I apologize. I'm just an American. I don't know how to fucking say Tathar. But anyway, you answered your own question right at the end. Endless. That's how they did it. At the time Vietnam came along, America was not a country that was accustomed to or accepting of endless war. We were a country that intervened when needed and put a very high price on the blood of our soldiers. So if we were going to send our as the parlance was back then, our boys overseas, there better be a goddamn fucking good reason for it. Now, dude, if you're 20 years old now, fuck it. If you're, let me actually do the math on this. If you're 21 years old now, you were born after war. You've never known war. You've never known a time of peace. I only enjoyed a very brief time of what I would call peace in my childhood. And really, it wasn't peace. There were military conflicts and military operations going on all throughout my childhood. But I enjoyed what Americans considered at the time a brief period of peace. And that's the last time I've seen it. What year, can somebody look something up for me? What year did George H.W. Bush, here comes that Bush name again. What year did George H.W. Bush invade fucking Iraq in defense of Kuwait? Operation Desert Storm kicked off in what year? And I'll tell you how old I was the last time there was peace. 1991. I'm 41 years old. I was 11. And it never stopped. That became an endless presence in the Middle East, very quickly became 2001, and the mass invasion of multiple fucking countries and military operations and drone strikes galore. I was 11 years old the last time I knew peace. My dad was in Desert Storm. He loaded the bombs on the jets, messed up shit. Yep. Nobody came back from that fucking untouched. My mom assembled the bombs. That's where they met. Hey, dude. Love blooms on the battlefield, man. A rose on the battlefield. Yep. There are fathers who fought in the Afghani war who are now watching their sons being deployed into that same war. There are fathers, there soon will be fathers and mothers that served in Iraq, served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, that watched their son and daughters be deployed to that same, very same region. And to even drive it home further, those people that were members of Operation Iraqi Freedom, they were the sons and daughters of the people that were part of Operation Desert Storm in 91. Think about that shit. Keep in mind that Trump was allegedly blocked from pulling out all the troops, which should not be happening. Totally fucking agree. Once again, it is alleged, but I haven't heard any fucking argument to the contrary. And if that's true, then you see what the fucking game is. They never can let you know peace again, because then you'll start questioning the war. When you're born under it, and there's just always American troops fighting brown people somewhere. Okay, well, that's just how it is, right? I mean, be honest. Those of you that are in your early 20s, I know there's a few of you in here. Do you wake up every day and go, God damn, we're at war? Because that's how I felt when we went to war after 9/11. That's how I felt when we went to war in fucking Operation Desert Storm when I was 11. See what I mean? Dude, when we were at war during Operation Desert Storm, everybody in the country knew it. It was on everybody's lips and minds. Everybody followed it. It was crazy. We were back at war. We declared war on a country. Fuck. Same thing in fucking 2001. 9/11 comes along. We're at war. They brought the war to us this time. Holy fuck. Right? You think about that ever? I can almost guarantee you don't. Why is that? You're desensitized to it. Because you were a baby when it was on the fucking TV while your parents were fucking watching and feeding you. You were a fucking little toddler when it was, came on after the fucking cartoons and shit, or it came on in the form of a fucking thing you stumbled onto on YouTube. You're a fucking tween. And now you're an adult, and you've never known a time when America wasn't at war. How can you be sensitized to it? It's just your reality now. And people like me that can remember a time when there wasn't war are getting old. pretty soon that there won't be any of us around to remind you that there used to be a time. So, like, what happens then? There's no movement, no overture towards ending this fucking nonsense and this insanity. In fact, if anything, there's just a drumbeat of more militarism. Under Biden, America has created a functional, like, military exercise blockade around parts of fucking the South China Sea and still maintain it right now. Have you even thought about that in a week or a month? The fact that there's literal warships lined up and on standby outside the South China Sea, just waiting on China to do some shit. Right? You think about that? But do you think about it every day? I don't. I don't think about being at war every day now either. So what little bit of wonder from my childhood at the consequence and heaviness of war has gone out of me too. I'm in the same boat as you, Zoomer. I don't give a fuck anymore. I mean, I do. Not the way I used to. Just seen too much of it. Too many years of it. 30 years of my life. Can't remain fucking sensitized to it for that long. Just and move forward as a human being. You know? Stuff that shit in my back pocket and move forward, right? That's how you are. That's how I am. And we're not so different, you and I. Zoomies. Only difference between me and you is I actually did care at one point. Because at one point it was not normal for the United States to be constantly forever at war. We don't get out of the cycle, Phoebe. I mean, I don't want to doom sprinkle you too fucking hard tonight, but you know how it is. We don't get out of it. It escalates. We can't get out of it now. We pull out of it, that means geopolitically we cede ground to some country that we don't want to give power to. We can't pull out of it. Our dick's in the beehive. It's just like, it's like driving your fucking bus off a cliff, right? And you're in free fall. And it's a really high cliff. And you're looking around the passengers and the driver and we go, fuck, man, how do we get out of this? We don't. It'll never stop now. It can't stop now. It's part of how the American economy justifies itself now. The war economy is a real fucking thing. Hello, Honest Red. Back in the day, America was reluctant against every war, even World War II. Now we Star Wars every few years, right? Star Wars. I get it. I got it. I got it. No, dude, you know, this is a depressing fucking topic, but it's just the truth. I wouldn't spit this shit at you guys if I didn't think it was the truth, because you're not going to be prepared in any way for it to be the truth if I fucking tell you a bunch of lies and hopeful nonsense. It's out of control, man. It's a beast that has escaped its fucking cage and escaped its restraints, and now it walks among us forever. And it kills us. It takes our young people away to foreign places to kill other young people. And they come back scarred and broken, and we do nothing for them. This empty chat is apropos, I think. Following that analogy, it will only stop when the tensions raise to a fever pitch and cause a massive clash of all related countries. It can't be stopped by any involved party, but will come to a head. Yes, that's what I believe. I believe that this 30 years of unabated war is not just a historical event in and of itself, but a portent for the future. And war can do nothing but escalate. What drives war? Well, I mean, this may seem trite, but now it's backed up. All the people that were called crazy conspiracy nuts and assholes for undermining the real reason for war by saying it's for oil. Well, Kamala Harris just confirmed that for us. This country has fought war after war after war over oil, and soon we will fight wars after water. She said the quiet part loud. There's your truth. That you have no idea, as a person who lived through the anti-war movement in the early days of the fucking Afghani invasion and the Iraqi invasion. I was called a traitor, a terrorist supporter, for saying that this war was bullshit and that it was for oil profits and mineral profits. And now, 30 years later, vindication. Well, not 30, I guess. 20 years later. In the form of a fucking national level, high level politician, the vice president of the United States, saying it. Confirming all of that shit that I got called a traitor for. Terrorist supporter. Raghead supporter. The ugliness never stopped. Because I didn't support the troops. You hate the troops. You side with Al Qaeda. Why, if you care about them over there so much, why don't you go move to Iraq? All because I said that this is bullshit, that we're sending our fucking young people over there for oil and minerals and geopolitical positioning. Now the quiet part has been said loud. But where's the vindication for people like me who stood on principle back then? There is none. Where's the punishment for people who had that stupid fucking tact back then and who now pretend like they were always on my side? There is none. There's no justice in this world. I'm telling you that right now. These people take these takes and they ostracize people. It's happening to me right now. I hate to have a fucking persecution complex, but I've examined this shit. Me calling fucking fakesies on this DNC shit and catching every kind of accusation under the book. You know what it feels like? Do you know what in my past I directly correlate the way I get shit on now for? Back in the fucking early 2000s when I was part of the anti-war movement on the left. Just ostracized because I don't toe the line. And there's no genuine vindication in being right either. Because none of the people that held those positions are held to account for having that position. None of them ever functionally describe how they came over or take part in any of this type of talk that I'm giving now. They just pretend they always had the position. They just go with the flow. Oh yeah, these wars are bullshit, man. You know how many people I've heard say that back when these wars started were fucking like flag-waving, froth-mouthed lunatics? No accountability. There's no need for it. Why would you expect individual voters and citizens to have accountability to one another if the government has no accountability to the people? The government that actually functionally institutes these things has no accountability in doing it. And so the people that fucking back one side or the other have no accountability for their shitty support. And that's it. And here I am, dude. I'm standing in front of you, a dude that I'm not trying to fucking say I'm right about everything. But when it comes to this shit, I've been right about pretty much everything. I was part of the anti-war movement starting in 2001. I was 21 years old. Protested against the fucking Afghani invasion, made vociferous fucking opposition wherever I could to the Iraqi invasion. And in online spaces and fucking leftist spaces and, you know, all the spaces that existed back then, I was called a fucking piece of shit. I was a traitor, a commie, or the words used back then, traitor. If you don't back what we're doing, you're a traitor. You support the people that fucking killed everybody on 9/11, you're a traitor. You're a sympathizer. You're a fucking Al-Qaeda sympathizer. You agree with them. You agree with Al-Qaeda. Like you said in a video once, the worst thing someone who supported these wars had to do was scrape a bumper sticker off their car. Yep. Oh Lord, what, Zero Cell? Are you having a heart attack or something? Because if not, you better shut the fuck up. Despite them being insular in their own right. I don't know what that's in reference to. Now I'm pissed off at this other idiot. Never. I never got one fucking apology, nor any acknowledgement that I was right from the jump. It's just like that became the narrative and everybody started to adopt it as the war wore on for fucking 5 years, 10 years, and then slowly but surely those fucking rah, rah, rah became like, oh man, this war is bullshit. Nobody questioned them. It just all just passively happened. But then that became fucking impotent too. Now nobody even cares. Like at least those people came around to it and were like, hey, this war is bullshit for a little while. Now nobody gives a fuck anymore. What war? There's a war? There's actually a two-front war on right now that occasionally becomes a 3 or 4 front war? What? But anyway, yeah, dude, I gotta go to Starbucks and shit, you know? Anywho, enough doom stroking here. We've been doing a little doom stroking. That's enough doom stroking out of us tonight. Well, maybe not enough, but on this topic, I just can't, you know, I don't know any other way to say it. And I feel like I risk sounding like some dude that's got some kind of superiority complex, but I'm just telling you, dude, it fucking sucks being right about shit and watching the popular narrative of people who called you a fucking kook slowly come around to it and never take any responsibility for their vociferous fucking denouncement of you and your ilk. And I've just been like, as a fucking political entity, that's been my fucking job. As a leftist, to be hated by people in my own fucking sphere and people outside of it. To people on the right, I'm a fucking commie, hippie piece of shit. To people on the left, I'm a fucking defeatist, secret conservative. It's like, you can't. dumb motherfuckers been right about every goddamn fucking thing all the time. Stupid defeatist, fucking centrist, secret conservative. It's like, yeah, I understand that, guys, and I'm not trying to undermine that. I appreciate the folks that do support me and do at least take my argument, because there's like people. Some of you guys agree with me directly. Some of you guys like agree with my voice without necessarily agreeing with every one of my takes, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that small group of people. You know what I mean? The people that either find themselves in large agreement with me, or the people that don't but listen, hear me out anyway, and allow my fucking arguments to impinge upon them in some way, and come and tell me, because I do get that shit sometimes. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get this dude, Paul, I was real shitty to you in the fucking Reddit comments or whatever the fuck. And, I just really like started looking at your opinions and listened to you the other night, and it really changed my perspective on you, or whatever the fuck. And I'm never salty about that shit, because it's so rare. It's so rare for somebody to feel the need to like go to somebody who they've shat on and be like, oh man, that was shitty of me. I'm sorry. You were right. I'm sorry. So I never rub it in their face. I just say, thanks, bro. It's cool. No worries. Because it really isn't. Right. That's what I'm talking about, man. If you value anything about me, don't make it every single fucking take. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my take is more important than your take. Okay, on a fundamental level. Now, how we argue that out may generate some people's opinions about which take is better, right? But on the face of it, it's up to you. You're the only one that has to live in the prison. Just like me, I'm the only ape that has to live up in here and exist in this, right? So you got your own fucking brain. I'd rather you use that and just appreciate me as a person that speaks my mind, right? And maybe go and do likewise. Yeah? You're right that your general worldview hasn't changed much, but what's the particular take you had in the last decade that you were most mistaken about? Good question. Let me think about the last decade. So that would have been like what, 2011? I was so what? That would have been Obama's second term. Right around then is when I fucking pulled the ripcord. So before then, I guess if you give me a couple of years to fudge, I was a vociferous and open supporter of Democrats and the DNC and Barack Obama especially. I loved him. You know what I mean? I really thought that he was a different kind of politician. The fact that he was a person of color was important to me to see. I thought it was a sign of like real fucking progress in the country. And, I'd lived through enough politicians and their shitty promises to understand that he wasn't going to get everything, but I really felt like he was going to fucking hold an iron to the fire, and he went in with such a fucking mandate. And then just was instantly shit. So by fucking 10 years ago, I was already down that road, but I would say that's the biggest shift is my faith in the DNC, right? Because if you go back and look at my older videos and stuff, I'm, pretty open in my advocacy for those things. But yeah, no, I didn't vote for Obama in 2012. Fuck that. By that time, he'd revealed what he was to me. It's another fucking corp dem, another disappointment, another person that funneled a bunch of fucking energy and genuine care and desire into bullshit and war and greed and profiteering and, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again. To quote a warmonger. There's something on my mind. It just popped in there as a topic. I was thinking, and really the catalyst for this is really non-consequential, so I apologize for digressing into the what is ultimately meaningless drama yet again, but I was thinking about this Young Turk shit going on, and I don't know if this is tangentially related to what we're talking about. Maybe it is. Maybe as we work through it, we'll see that there is some relation, right? This Young Turks shit, and this phrase came in my mind. It was "believe all women," right? And that phrase, I think, is good, and I certainly ascribe to the spirit of it, but I think that it's damaging as well, right? I think taking every accusation at face value ignores the fact that it's widely documented that people do this shit for spurious reasons, fling false accusations, blah, 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 blah. It's not even in controversy that this happens. So the idea that we should take every goddamn fucking thing that's said at face value is absurd, right? Am I wrong? Does that make me a misogynist or a rape apologist or whatever the fuck? Like, see, here's the thing. Usually when there's an accusation of rape or something or sexual misconduct, right? My fucking opinion on it never comes into it, right? Because it's somewhere in the fucking country that I'm not, in a business that I don't work in, and it's handled between those fucking two people, and there's a lawsuit or whatever the fuck, right? And I don't hear about it. And so it's like when it's brought into the public sphere, you have to scrutinize that shit, right? I'm not saying we scrutinize every goddamn woman's claim of rape or every man's claim of rape, right? Like I said, most of those things pass without us even being aware of them. And for good reason. It's really none of our fucking business what's happened to people like that. And the fucking, our involvement and our opinionation back and forth can only hurt at a certain level, right? But when you talk about these media cases where there's something at stake, where now I'm not saying that people in the media don't rape people or don't abuse people. Clearly they do. Look at Weinstein and shit, right? But dude got tried. Dude went before a jury of his peers and was found to be fucking guilty of sexual, battery and fucking misconduct and rape and shit. No, Anna made a claim on Jimmy Dore. So here is the truth of this, and here's why, and I see people just running with it. Vosh ran with it. Which, whatever, it's once again, this shit between Jimmy Dore and the Young Turks is the least of our fucking worries as a human fucking species, right? Of course. But it's all everybody's fucking talking about on the online left right now. And it's this big fucking, it's another big schism. Personality-based schism. So the Young Turks have recently been going after independent journalists, most prominently Aaron Mate, who's an independent journalist that's done a lot of reporting on Syria. They're going after him because he has contradicted in his reporting some of their takes on the situation in Syria, let's be honest, the typical neoliberal line. And they got really mad about it. There's this, Anna Kasparian, fuck you, Aaron Mate, fuck you, right? And the left, there's some people that love the Young Turks that were like, yeah, fuck Aaron Mate. And then there's some people on the left that were like, wait, fuck Aaron Mate? Why? In favor of fucking Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian? That's not really a great trade-off when it comes to actual substantive journalism and shit. When's the last time the Young Turks broke a story? I'll wait. When's the last time the Young Turks did any kind of investigative journalism at all and didn't just run with headlines from the AP, right? So they're going after a dude that's actually living in Syria and reporting on the ground there and contradicting the neoliberal line that fucking Biden had to fucking drone strike over there and that our continued military posturing there is fucking warranted. And they've taken the position that that's okay. And so they got all butthurt about it. And then, so it's right now where this big controversy is happening with the Young Turks who've been hemorrhaging the ability to fucking make money, by the way. That we have to take that into account as well. The relevance of the Young Turks has gone not like a cliff, but it's like, dude, you want proof of this? Go and look at their fucking election night coverage. And I want you to fucking try it. Like if they've got it up as one big long stream, which they probably don't. But if somebody fucking saved it and put it up, 90% of it is commercials. It's like, let's check the polls in Virginia. Oh, not looking good in Virginia. Anyway, join the Young Turks and fight against the blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They don't do shit. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta piss. Squeaky ass shit. So anyway, where were we? We're talking about the state of the Young Turks leading up to this, right? So they're having financial problems. They're hemorrhaging subscribers and financial support, right? Then they have this take against a fucking journalist, and a lot of the left goes like, fuck you guys, that was ridiculous. And they're all making fun of the Young Turks. And it's at that point that Anna Kasparian finds the strength to talk about what Jimmy Dore did to her. Because, of course, Jimmy Dore is part of the left that is criticizing her. And what better way to get points, right? Oh yeah, this guy that's criticizing us right here, that's leading a lot of the criticism against us, he's sexually harassed me, you know, like made multiple sexual comments in front of everybody and stuff. And then you got Cenk sitting there sweating like a big fucking whore in church, going like, I didn't know anything about this. You know, this is just crazy to me. I mean, Anna just shared this with me a few days ago. He has to go with her take no matter what. He can't bring up any of the things that I'm saying. This is something that Anna did to herself because she got all fucking high and mighty and decided to send a DM to Jimmy Dore, thinking that he was going to be like, oh, okay, I'll back, whatever. I'll back off of the Young Turks. And Jimmy was like, fuck you. Here's Anna Kasparian's fucking DM to me trying to fucking blackmail me, and here's the incident that happened. Her fucking ass came bobbling out of her skirt. I went like, whoa, nice news skirt. Everybody laughed. She was humiliated. She tried to make a comeback. It didn't work. You know, I wrote her a fucking apology letter because I knew her feelings were hurt by it in retrospect, and it's been done since then. In the meantime, all of these fucking like older clips of the fucking Young Turks are surfacing with Cenk and Anna sitting there giggling their fucking asses off while looking at a picture of the bare naked vagina taken by a paparazzi of some fucking, you know, pop starlet or whatever, and examining her pussy in front of and laughing about it. You know, there's a whole ass fucking segment where one of their interns was propositioned by Playboy, and Cenk found out about this and, of course, had to make a segment about it and interrogate this girl about what her price would be to pull her tits out so that Cenk could ogle them. You know, everybody's got a price, you know what I mean? $1 million? $1 billion? After the chick says, I'm not interested in doing it. Well, I mean, come on, no. You didn't want to know? I mean, $1 million, what if it's $1 million? What if it's $1 billion? What do you do? Would you pull your titties out then? And then she goes, no, because I kind of think it would be a career killer, which is true. Oftentimes it does kill careers. And Cenk literally goes, what career? And everybody in the room laughs, and the girl is humiliated. So what's sexual harassment again? You know who else was laughing? Anna Kasparian, sitting right next to Cenk at the news desk. So all of these mitigating factors are considered into how I feel about the Young Turks, having Anna Kasparian just, you know, struggling with it for so many years until the just happened to coincide with all the heat being on, that she found the strength to send a blackmail DM to Jimmy Dore. I was talking to Amelia about this. I don't think I said it to you guys. I almost guarantee you that Cenk is pissed off as fuck at Anna. Because I guarantee you he did not want to go into this. This was not something that Cenk chose, and she went and sent this fucking DM being all high and mighty. And the whole fucking world was watching Jimmy Dore fucking respond to this clear and obvious blackmail threat. And Cenk knew, like, we have to do something now. I can almost hear him doing it. Like, the cameras are off, and he's like, fucking Anna. What, Cenk? This fucking shit with Jimmy. Now we have to do something. Now I have to do something. Don't you understand, Anna? What do you mean, Cenk? He did it to me. You don't have anything to do with it. No, I do. I'm the boss here. So if you got sexually harassed constantly for years while you worked with me, what does that make me? So now we have to address this fucking shit that you've created because you couldn't keep your goddamn fucking mouth shut, Anna. So we're going to go live tonight and you're going to handle this shit and we're going to make it absolutely crystal clear that Cenk knew nothing about this. How much do you want to bet that fucking conversation happened? Because I'd feel the same fucking way. That's what that video was about more than Anna telling her story, because if you want Anna to tell her story, all you're getting is vague nonsense. She doesn't even say what he did. She says she tries to say that the story about her ass popping out didn't happen, but also says he was trying to look up her skirt, which he says it's pretty easy to look up a skirt when it's ridden up over your fucking hips and your whole ass is out. Right? That's Jimmy's position, and I think that's pretty much anybody's position. Kind of hard to miss an ass come bobbling out. So what's the fucking contention here? Like, I just don't get it. And now Cenk's in this fucking awkward position because he worked with this dude for fucking years, and he knows he's done the same exact shit that Anna is fucking accusing Jimmy of. He knows he's made sexual comments about Anna's fucking legs and her looks and shit. There's a fucking somebody. I guarantee you, somebody's making a supercut right now. I've seen too many of these now.
They used to do camel toe watch.
Yeah, they used to literally find pictures of women taken by paparazzos where you could see the outline of their pussy lips. Whoa, there's a camel toe, and Anna Kasparian would be right there. Oh wow, yeah, that is a camel toe.
Who does it belong to?
Whose camel toe do you think this is? I don't know. I think it's Britney Spears' camel toe. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't really look like a Britney Spears camel toe to me. What do you think, little intern woman? Whose pussy is that up there? Does that look like maybe it's your pussy? Maybe it's your pussy. Maybe it's your pussy. Can I see your pussy? How much would it cost to see your pussy? This motherfucker knows he's run that show, and now all of a sudden Anna Kasparian has opened this can of worms because in her weird fucking head, she thought she was gonna send a blackmail DM to a drama whore like Jimmy Dore, and he wasn't gonna just post it for everybody and make everybody look dumb over at TYT. That's his job.
Why would you DM Jimmy Dore at all?
Anything. And you know Chank was pissed. We have to make it absolutely fucking crystal clear that I knew nothing about this. Because this makes me look like shit, Anna. You're saying that I read that a toxic work environment happened right on my nose? My name and face is all over all this? You're going to make this right, Anna. We're going to go live and you're going to make sure everybody knows that it was done secretly. You know this happened. 100%. 100%. And there are people on the left that are fucking, like, literally taking up the banner and acting like this is an act of goddamn fucking murder or something that went on because they ideologically oppose Jimmy Dore. This is an obvious hit. This is an obvious hit piece. This is an obvious attempt to blackmail somebody who's being critical of your actual political positions. And people on the left are gobbling it up under the auspices of believe all women and just looking like a bunch of dupes for it. Just looking like dupes. And like Cenk didn't even make himself look better because think about it. He claims he didn't know anything about Jimmy Dore sexually harassing Anna constantly and making constant public sexual comments that made her uncomfortable. Cenk never heard one of them, even though he's in everything they do. Okay? Number one. Number two, Cenk is the boss over there. So if Anna did want to complain about the sexually harassing comment, she'd have to go to the guy that was about to do a fucking segment on people's pussy lips showing through their jeans. And about to do a segment with the young 19-year-old intern who got an email from Playboy and he heard about it and he just has to know how much money it would take for him to see them titties and that pussy. Because she's got to have a price, right? Oh, you're not interested in doing it because it would ruin your career? What career? So even if he knew nothing, that's who Anna had to go to complain. The guy that was doing that shit for a living and monetizing it. So it implicates him even further. So he has overseen a constant toxic work environment for years. And Anna Kasparian thinks that she can implicate one person on that show? When Cenk runs it and participates in the very thing she fucking accuses Jimmy Dore of? And the left, people on the left are running with this? You're going to see some doubling down and tripling down before this is all over. And it's going to be dumber every time, just like it is when people double and triple. Because more of these, dude, Cenk is frantically deleting shit. This is being tracked. The Young Turks channel is shrinking in numbers of videos. Does that sound like a guy that is interested in moving the discourse forward? He's going back and removing all his pussy shit. Camel Toe Joe hour and fucking, oh, look, here's Britney Spears' pussy. Some fucking lucky paparazzo got up her skirt. What do you think about that, Anna? Oh man, maybe she's going out to dinner with her dad. That's what I heard. Oh, is that true, Anna? Yeah. She's going out to dinner with her dad. Why isn't she wearing panties? Come on, put some panties on, girl. You're going out to dinner with your dad? And you're going to see some doubling and tripling down from people who don't even want to look at that. They're going to accuse people like me of whataboutism. They're going to be like, oh, don't what about it? What about? You're going to see some stupid fucking shit takes on this. Trust me. We've only just begun to double down. Leftists buying Cenk Uger's bullshit. When will they learn he's just a clown? That's not even an impression of Cenk. I'm just channeling him. I close my eyes and I imagine an angry charging buffalo. And that's what comes out. Believe all women, yeah. Well, we just talked about that, right? Why that's a stupid fucking statement to say. Because it removes the possibility that a woman can lie. So it removes any agency from women to be normal fucking human beings who we know are very adept liars. I'm not saying all rape accusations are lied, but every rape accusation should be investigated on its own merits. And this one, in order to investigate it on its merits, you have to look at what time it came out, how it came out, the auspices under which it came out. It didn't start with Anna Kasparian saying, look, there's something that I got to get off my chest. It started with her sending a blackmail DM to Jimmy Dore threatening to do it. And he just called her bluff. And it sent heads spinning all over the goddamn left, because how do you believe all women but also ignore the obvious fucking bullshit going on here? Well, better double down, better triple down. That's why believe all women is fine when it comes to just like generally believing women at face value when they tell you something, but not fine when it comes to these media narratives that are crafted during these attempts to cancel people and shit. Those need extra scrutiny, because there's definitely motive to come up with a lie if you can ruin a career, right? Especially if it's somebody who's a big critic of yours. So why was it, right as Jimmy Dore's ramping up the fucking heat on the Young Turks for their shit take on Aaron Mate, all of a sudden that's when Anna Kasparian has the strength to send him a DM? Give me a fucking break. And you as a leftist want to be trapped fucking defending that shit? Go for it, bro. But I'm just telling you, these clips of fucking Cenk Uygur doing everything that Anna Kasparian has said that fucking Jimmy Dore did, but only on the air in front of a fucking audience of hundreds of thousands of people, they're just going to keep coming. Because I don't know if you guys watched TYT back in the day. I did. Guess what their show was? Basically just Beavis and Butthead, but a news show. Tits, ass, nipples. Oh, you looking pretty good today, Anna. Oh, you saw your legs and nice shoes, you know what I mean? Oh, Cenk, I know I'm looking good. In fact, I know I'm looking so good that today we're going to do a segment. Oh, that's right, Anna. Tell us about this. We're going to do a segment to see if I can go to the mall and get a man and dress all sexy. You know what I mean? Get my sexy on. And see if I can get a man to buy me an expensive pair of Balenciaga shoes for free. Oh, man, I'm telling you, Anna, before you even go do it, this is going to work, right? Because men can't resist, right? We just can't resist. You put on the boom boom and you put the bang pow in our face and we're just like, oh, shit. All right, let me buy these shoes, right? I think you're going to be successful. Oh, me too. Then they do a piece where she does it and gets Balenciaga shoes. And then they do a piece where she comes back and brags about how much she loves her shoes.
One more water, baby?
Yeah, please. Those clips are just going to keep piling up. So you better prepare yourself to triple and quadruple down on this shit, or just pretend it never happened. I'd go with the latter. I would just like move on to other things and let this fucking go, because the people that are fucking jumping in face first with Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur clearly don't know the people they're dealing with. Paul, I understand your opinion on this matter, but my question is, why would you go claiming this is 100% what happened? You're just giving your detractors more. Whatever. I was being hyperbolic, bro. I was positing a fucking conversation that Cenk Uygur probably had in some form with Anna Kasparian when she sent a fucking DM to Jimmy Dore that blew this whole fucking thing up and implicated him as the boss of the TYT in cultivating a work environment where his main fucking female co-host gets cyclically sexually harassed, but he has to pretend he doesn't know what. And the shit she's accusing him of is shit he does every fucking, or at least used to do every fucking goddamn day. So he knows it puts him under the goddamn microscope. So that's all I was doing. I was being hyperbolic. I don't know that that's exactly what he said to her, but I can almost fucking guarantee that some conversation like that went down. Because I'm telling you, from a business standpoint, that does not make the boss look good when somebody claims that there's been cyclical, unaddressed sexual harassment over the course of fucking months and years, and then accuses their harasser of doing things, and then there's video of Cenk doing that and worse. That doesn't look good, bro. So I guarantee you Cenk was not fucking happy about this one way or the other. And all you got to do is go watch their fucking video they made about it so far. They'll do another one. Trust me, this ain't over. They're going to have to double down just along with everybody else.
I just found one of them covering Crystal Ball's, quote, sexy photo scandal.
Ooh, that's a recent one.
That was 8 years ago, actually.
It was 8 years ago? I thought Crystal Ball was relatively new to the...
No, that was when she was an MSNBC.
Oh, way back in the day.
Yeah, but you want to hear what he says?
What?
Let me go back a couple seconds.
Yeah, if you want to play it, just crank up your volume and let's hear this great progressive boss that doesn't let toxic work environments happen.
You can hit play whenever you're ready.
Here we go.
Unattractive? Do you think she would have gotten those jobs? Okay,
she's also intelligent. Like
no, you need all of it.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. That's why I keep saying I like her. There's nothing wrong with her, right? You need all of it, right? Oh, and if she was dumb, she wouldn't have gotten the job, right? And if she didn't have the sex scandal, not sex, I hate that they were even accidentally saying it. If she didn't have the picture scandal, she also wouldn't have gotten the job, right? These scandals are the best thing that could happen to you, okay? And it's funny because PR people, they're naturally, instinctively like, no, avoid the scandals, No, run straight into the scandal. That's the best PR you could possibly get. I'm keeping it real. I'm not saying, like, we're a little too honest, a little too liberal to do stuff like that. But if you actually wanted to hear, here's my advice to you if you want to do it, right? Man, if you run for any kind of thing like this, take whatever picture, leak it, do it yourself.
Hold on, wait, talk a little slower.
That's how women get elected. That's how women get elected, according to the Young Turks, is you drop nudes.
And she wouldn't have gotten hired.
Wouldn't have gotten hired if she didn't have the bang, the boom, and the pow. Just like you, Anna. What is the implication there? That Anna Kasparian somehow is not subject to the rules that he's laying out for how women get jobs? So, yeah, you wouldn't be here, Anna, if you were fucking conventionally unattractive. And neither would this woman. In fact, my advice to women is drop nudes. Idea how to bring your labor movement to rural America. I think Juneteenth is more to make up for a lack of historical education about Black America. There are so many ways that it could be done that requires so much more effort and actual politicking than getting a national holiday declared. So once again, I call you back to the Malcolm X quote. The white man will ply us with platitudes instead of progress. So you get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get health care. You get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get an infrastructure bill that addresses crumbling inner cities. You get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get reinvestment in schools. You get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get lower class sizes in schools. You get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get a mass fucking reexamination of our carceral system and how many Black men are in it and why that is. You get a Juneteenth holiday, but you don't get a job. I mean, come on, bro. Thanks for the $5. That doesn't prove anything. I'm just going to stay in this dumb I dislike and distrust both sides. I'm seeing everything. No, that's fine. I don't trust Jimmy Dore as far as I could pick his Weasley little ass up and throw him either. That's kind of the point of this. But he does end up looking a little better to me because he's the one that responded to a blackmail threat. He didn't blackmail Anna Kasparian. She blackmailed him with threats of a Me Tooing, and he called her bluff on it. So, yeah, I wouldn't trust either of these fucking people. I'm fine with that point.
I'm like, there's no authorities to go to.
Right. There's no way to fucking prove any... She can't... If she wants to sue somebody, you know who she has to sue? Cenk. Because it was Cenk Uger's fucking company where she got sexually harassed.
Like, unless there's an HR report, that's the only, like, proof.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she said herself she never reported it to Cenk. She had to. Because Cenk has to pretend he doesn't know this type of stuff went on the show, right? Even though there's endless evidence that this is the fucking environment of the Young Turks. And especially during the years where fucking Jimmy Dore was there, constantly was. Spaghettios. It's starting to smell like bullshit in here, but people got some hard takes out there, dude. Vosh got a hard take on this one. Jimmy Dore, creepy sex freak, tries to humiliate Anna Kasparian. He's just all in on that shit. And I'm just like, bruh. So the fact that these are vicious ideological opponents, the fact that this was dropped right now, the fact that it was preceded by a blackmail attempt, none of that is going into the calculus on this one, huh? We did calculus to get to electing Joe Biden, but we're not going to do calculus on this one before we have a big fat fucking 20-minute hot take on it. I mean, whatever. Like I said, ultimately, this is just drama. This is just benefiting both Jimmy Dore and the Young Turks in the long run because everybody's fucking talking about them. But, like, what a shitty take to have out there floating around in the world. What an unskeptical person you paint yourself out to be. If you fucking take at face value anything that comes out of the mouth of Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, or Jimmy Dore. These people are all ruthless fucking entertainers that would crush their mothers' fucking heads to get a leg up in the business.
And saying that they both look bad is better than saying one looks totally
Yeah, I don't think anybody comes out smelling like roses. Jimmy's an old guy and he's kind of a boomer, and his explanation was kind of like reveled a little bit too much in his humiliation of Anna. But I can understand why he would have that impulse. She just sent him a goddamn fucking DM trying to Me Too him, or blackmailing him with a Me Too if he doesn't back off or else. And Jimmy Dore went back through his fucking memory and was like, I'm going to preempt this. Here's the only thing I can remember that this could be about. Anna's ass came bobbling out of her fucking shit, and I said some shit, and everybody laughed. Her feelings got hurt. I got her an apology card, and we kept working together. And everybody's like, Jimmy Dore's a fucking sex pest. I'm like, what?
He's bragging about it.
What?
Like, I saw those takes.
I mean,
too.
yeah,
It's like,
well, yeah, I mean, like, look, those takes are born from the fact that Jimmy Dore didn't present his case very well. He was pissed off, and he reveled in the humiliation of fucking Anna Kasparian back then because it made it even more funny to him that this is the issue that she's going to try and bring up. And that was not a great look, but that doesn't change the fact that it was in response to an attempted blackmail. Does nobody know this? Or are we just going to ignore that?
Well, like, I saw people, like, tone policing, too. It's like, because I brought up some of the old Cenk stuff. It's like, well, did he ever do a video bragging about it? No.
It's like, what? That's your defense? So Cenk ran a show that was literally like, examine the female body and bad misogynistic takes, the show for leftists, for years. And that's the excuse? Really?
like these people with Trump. It's like, at least Biden's nice.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, you can't. I've seen those takes.
Yeah.
You can't understand how nice it is to be able to put my head on the pillow at night and not worry about some crazy shit that the president is tweeting. The fact that you were really worried about what the president was tweeting ever shows how little you know about what the real problems in your fucking life are.
People are like tone obsessed now.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking over the top. You saw how like Vosh's chat started to get mad at me because I raised my voice to this level. And I was like, dude, when's that gonna happen? And his chat was like, Paul Malding, mad, aggressive, Paul's losing it. And I'm just like, what? Like, when did we all turn into meek little, yes, no. Like, that's not, I'm fine. It's fine if you're like that, but why I gotta be like that too?
It's like, people will just use tone now to dismiss arguments.
Oh, yeah.
Entirely.
Exactly. That's how the whole Jamie Darkey simp crew, that's their whole fucking point.
Yeah.
They don't actually look at the fact that Jamie Darkey was not able to elucidate a single point.
But she
in
never
that
went to the pride that she's criticizing.
never went to the pride that she's criticizing, actually walked back a bunch of her points on that while still trying to double down and keep her points from earlier. Couldn't provide an example of something she disagreed with Vosh on. Couldn't fucking provide examination on one of Vosh's more fucking well-known hot takes. That Marxism, Leninism is just a natural extension of fucking liberalism. Right? Couldn't make a fucking take on that, didn't even understand the question. So all that gets ignored because I said a mean word. Because I yelled at her and made fun of her a couple of times. It's just fucking ridiculous. They're just like, yeah, well, you know, under normal circumstances, Jamie didn't do the best, I'll admit. But I'll tell you what, Paul lost. What? How?
He's a meanie head.
He's mean. It's like, fuck. Quick question, Paul. During your discussion with Vosh, were you reading his YouTube chat or website chat? I honestly can't remember. I'm pretty sure I had his YouTube chat open. Because I had at one point, I think I popped it out so I could pull it over to another part of my screen and monitor it and like look over at it every once in a while. So I'm pretty sure it was a YouTube chat. I forgot that he has his own chat and really doesn't pay attention to his YouTube chat. Like the chat that shows on his screen is his own private website chat or whatever. No, I hadn't heard that about Iran. I'll look into it though, Lord Zod. Thanks for the donation. Yeah, dude, I don't get it. I'm not advocating for a workspace in which a woman is constantly sexualized or even like sexualized at all. If that happens in the workspace, there should be a reprimand or a firing, right? And if it's a pattern of behavior, then the boss should be reprimanded for it because he's allowed it to go on, right? I'm for all that. I don't think anybody should feel like they have to be sexually scrutinized or whatever at work. That being fucking said, there's a difference between an HR complaint that should have been put up the chain to Chank so he could go to Jimmy and go, hey dude, could you back off of fucking Anna? She's you know, sensitive and stuff. She doesn't like it when her skirt rode up and you said some shit and she's butthurt. Oh, but Jimmy actually didn't even need that. He came to it himself by noticing that she was pissed at him and was like, oh, fuck. Went and got a card and was like, sorry, I didn't mean to, it was just a joke. And gave her that and they went on working together. You see what I mean? It just gets fucking stupider by the minute, dude. And I don't see anybody, like, giving that take on it. The fact that it makes Chank look worse than Jimmy. Because what Anna's alleging is that there was a pattern of constant withering abuse and harassment from one of Chank's fucking members. Chank has engaged in the very things that she's claiming this other guy did live on screen. It just makes him look like the fucking guy that created the environment that allowed that shit to happen. So I guarantee you he's fucking pissed about this shit. I would be too. You're the boss of something and one of your fucking closest coworkers says that she was sexually harassed for years on your fucking show. And you didn't, and you have to pretend you didn't notice it. You have to pretend you didn't engage in that same behavior. The only difference is now you still work with the woman making the claim and the other guy doesn't. How do you think Cenk feels? The shit boils over with Anna and she ends up leaving or getting fired or whatever the fuck. Guess who's next? It'll be Cenk. There's ample evidence of that. No recording of these alleged incidents with Jimmy Dore, but there's fucking Cenk's on tape sexually harassing Anna and other women in front of Anna. They can't get fired. Their business can fail. Cenk owns the business, so that's what would happen, is that Cenk would come to realize that he can no longer fucking keep the shit going. Everyone wants to take TYT at their word when all they've ever produced are grifters like Dave Rubin and drama-obsessed people like Jimmy or Anna. Yep. And they've been on both sides of every goddamn fucking argument. Wrong. Dude, just go back and watch their lead up to the fucking 2016 election. Go watch their fucking coverage of the 2016, their famous meltdown coverage. And look at how they contributed with their smug hubris that Hillary Clinton was going to walk away with it, along with everybody else in the media, to the stunning loss. And how they dealt with it by screaming at everybody but themselves like they didn't pom-pom the same fucking stupid Hillary Clinton. They try to act like they were anti-Hillary Clinton from the get-go, and I was stupid bullshit putting Hillary Clinton in the party. They fucking pom-pom that bitch the whole fucking cycle. Dude, at the beginning of the night, before the numbers start coming in, people are talking up. They have a woman on there that's like, I can't believe that. Or I think it was Cenk was like, I think it's really cool that I told my little girl this morning that she's going to wake up tomorrow morning and there's going to be a woman president. And then they just like downshifted into fucking critic mode when shit didn't blow their way and they had to have a fucking take, right? These people are fucking grifters through and through. They've never fucking, what has TYT provided? What have they broken? What major political story has TYT broken? And before you criticize me, my podcast broke a major political story. Name one that TYT has broken. One story, one piece of investigative journalism, one thing that isn't just a reaction to an AP article or a Fox News commentator. What story? Milo Yiannopoulos and his cancellation of CPAC and the destruction of his career. Happened on my show as a result of a question I asked. Well, you done, Cenk? It's the last time you broke major news. It was the last time you exposed a fucking Republican grifter and got them kicked out of the party functionally. Yeah, that happened on my obscure right-wing podcast back in the day. And guess who covered that shit along with every other major news media outlet and reveled in it? Guess who made content out of the actual fucking breaking of the story that we did on the podcast? Cenk. Anna. The flung turds. Jake Tapper and everybody else, bro. So why are we defensive of these people again? Why aren't we just dumping these fucking grifting morons? Go look at the commercial. I want you guys to draw a line, okay? If you want to do a fucking exercise, if you've got some extra time and you're bored and you got a video game to throw on, you got nothing to watch, right? Do a thought experiment with me. Watch the Young Turks coverage of the last election in 2020 and watch our coverage. There are 0 commercials in our coverage. We make probably conservatively like 1/50th of what the Young Turks bring in, maybe way less. Not one commercial, constant coverage, constant funny jokes, trying to keep people engaged, coverage of the polls, coverage of the exit polling, coverage of this, coverage of that. Kept the fucking shit going. Cenk stopped his show every 5 fucking minutes to give a 15-minute appeal for people to fucking give money to him so he could keep bringing you Joe Biden.
And now he's taking the tact of like, oh, I always knew Joe Biden was a do-nothing president.
Yep. Yeah, he was all going in all fucking hard with Biden's going to be progressive. Biden's got one of the most progressive agendas. Oh my God, Biden's agenda's great. Now he might walk some of it back, but now he's like, oh, I just knew he was a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, Biden was always going to fucking walk it back. We knew this. It's like, fuck you. It's a big old fucking buffalo standing on both sides of every goddamn fucking issue. It's tap dancing. It's desperate for... Yeah, dude, the next time I see fucking people have to be warned about that, I'm just going to call for bans. Stop with the fucking side conversations. If it ain't about what we're talking about, and it ain't directed at me, take it to DMs, please. It's confusing. It's in the rules. Abide or die. There will be no more warnings given by any of my mods. You will just be banned. Consider yourself forewarned. I'm surprised the fence he sits on can support the weight of a buffalo. It's a very hefty fence. No worries, just keep it to a fucking min, dude. I know people get all hot to trot, and you can see fucking shit going on in the comments. Like, look. It just makes it fucking untenable for me to run the show. It's so chat-based, and when I see you guys in the midst of a conversation that's fucking 3 replies deep, and I don't know what the conversation is, because I've been having a conversation, it doesn't serve the show. It does nothing but feed your ego, so stop doing it. You're just gonna get fucking canned the next time. And I'm not doing unbans, dude. I've unbanned a couple of fucking people. Most people, I'm just like, nope. Or I don't even see their fucking appeal for it. I'm not really, like, so you gotta understand, dude. You wanna participate here, and you care about your standing in the fucking community and shit, don't fuck around on the rules. Don't take that shit with a grain of salt. You better fucking read every goddamn one of them and make sure every comment you make adheres. Because the time for leniency is over. I'm too tired of dealing with nonsense and bullshit to have people inside my own fucking community. No, it's all good. I'm not even just pointing at you because you're not the only one that's been doing it tonight, Lobotomy. There's been a lot of it tonight. Fucking Amelia's sitting here warning you guys over and over and timing people out over and over and over. And it's just like fucking 5th time I've seen her say something about it. It's like, enough. I know it's a hot topic or whatever the fuck. Everybody's got a take on it and shit. But, you know, we got to go for it. Got to work within the fucking medium here, otherwise it's just bullshit. It seems like even alternative media is dying off. To Twitch streamer media, TYT is being replaced by Hassan Abi and the like. Yeah, Like Vosh and just like the big fucking political streamers on the left and the right seem to be supplanting the traditional news media and the kind of wave of indie news media where it's like, we're going to be the same thing as the news and present ourselves just like the news, but we're not going to be funded by the corporate overlords. Like TYT is part of that wave, right? Well, they all suck too. So now people are going to people that have an individual stake in politics to listen to people that are willing to talk fucking sense. Because what are the likes of Jimmy Dore and fucking Cenk doing? Rolling around in the muck with one another as if it matters, as if any of this shit matters, as if there's any fucking, like, anything at stake. You know what I mean? It's just bullshit. That's what they're up to. You know what I mean? So, say what you want about, you know, my recent talk with Vosh and shit, but there was probably more political ideas thrown around and challenged and contextualized and argued and discussed in that fucking couple of hours that we talked than you'll find in fucking 10 hours worth of the Young Turks. So that shows you right there why people are ditching the young turds, ditching like this fucking fake independent media shit that markets itself just like fucking traditional media does, and going to people that are just individuals that have a stake in it. Whoops. We're happy to have all of you, by the way. Those of us that are doing the real independent media thing, just being normal human beings and having rational, well thought out takes on things that happen in the world. Yeah. We're happy to have all the people that are giving up on the bullshit. Trust me. What an evening. What an evening of streaming it has been. I feel like there's been a lot of this recently, so I'm going to jump off the fucking TYT shit. Unless I have to jump back on it. Unless somebody fucking calls me out or some shit and I've got to fucking do this again. I might just clip this and send it to them as a response and see. You use this as my fucking response. Clip out my fucking position on it tonight because I laid it out pretty fucking clearly. And I'm kind of getting bored of it because really I understand what it is. It's Jimmy Dore and Anna Kasparian fucking circle jerking each other.
Yeah. Both of them got a lot of fucking views
Yeah.
out of it. Like.
It's all a bunch of big false outrage, and it undermines actual fucking victims of sexual assault and sexual harassment in the workplace when it's used cynically as an ammunition against an ideological opponent, and everybody involved knows it. And it's just a fucking drama game to see who can get who canceled first, and both sides of this bullshit are just all too eager to engage in it, and pretty much all of lefty Twitter has a fucking shit take on this that just makes them look like a credulous dupe. And it's like, pff. All right. Can we remember the world's fucking burning, please? Is there anything on the internet you're embarrassed of in hindsight? No. Not really. I mean, like, I'm not super proud of, like, some of the anti kind of transphobic kind of language I used to use back in the day, particularly in the earlier days of DP and shit. You know, I don't excuse it. I don't really like that I did that, but to say that I'm embarrassed of it would imply that, like, I wasn't me back when I was doing that. I fucking did it. And there was a part of me that knew that it was wrong and that it was probably, like, hurtful to some trans people to hear that shit, and I did it anyway because it made people laugh. And that's not an excuse. I don't offer that as an excuse, but I'm not embarrassed of it. If I was embarrassed of it, I would shy away from it, you know? I don't.
You apologize for it when it comes up. And
I don't really apologize for it. I don't really feel like I need to apologize for it. I guess I do. I mean, you know, I don't like that people might have been hurt by my use of some of that language, not just anti-trans stuff, but like the F slur and, you know, that type of thing. But, you know, an apology is different from just owning up to it and going like, fuck, dude, you know, that was shitty. It was kind of wrong of me. It was a real low-hanging fruit way of getting laughs and, you know, riling up an audience of mostly young males, you know what I mean, that ate it up. And, you know, but I made plenty of jokes that weren't anti-trans on DP that had people howling, you know. Nobody remembers me for one of my anti-trans drops where I called somebody a tranny or whatever the fuck, right? Nobody's like, that's my favorite Paul's ego moment, you know, because it just wasn't 100% of what I was doing. But yeah, it's sprinkled in there. I don't like that shit, but I ain't embarrassed of it. I don't walk around in embarrassment.
And the best fucking measure of that is like you worked really hard to move beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, I do my best, right? Like I've heard the voices of people who told me that those things were hurtful, and I did some self-critical some examination of myself and the way I used to present that. I filtered it through the way I felt about the world and decided that I wasn't going to go forward doing that and that I would own up to it. And you know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know, I don't like that I made people feel bad. And the best thing I can do about that is not to offer you guys some kind of fake tearful apology for the way I was, because that would be fake. The best way I can do is, as a public figure, is to go forward and not do that anymore. And I don't. But yeah, dude, I hate those fucking crafted, you know, apology videos that come up when people get Me Too'd or whatever the fuck, like Shane Dawson or whatever. You guys seen that shit? Man, that apology video is one of the cringiest. James Charles was another one that I recently like came on my radar because of Twitter. I learned that James Charles, the makeup vlogger, got Me Too'd and made this apology video. And so I watched like 5 minutes of it and I was just like, this is insipid, bro. This person is just insipid. They're just disgusting and cynical and horrible. Like, apologies are easy. Like, people think that an apology just sums it up, and it really doesn't. Like, for me, like, if somebody comes to me in confidence or whatever the fuck and goes like, hey, Paul, on DP fucking 242, you made a transsexual joke. And you said something like he penis or some shit, or she gina or whatever the fuck you said. And it fucking hurt my feelings. I would look that person in the eye and go like, dude, I'm sorry. It wasn't my intent. You know what I mean? But that's different from me coming to my community and going like, I'm so sorry. Like, look, you want the proof in the pudding? Find me making a fucking anti-trans joke in the last fucking 2 years of my content. Or more. Since I've been on DFF, find me making an anti-trans joke. There's the proof in your pudding. Okay? That's how a person shows you that they've realized that behavior that they used to think was harmless in the past is harmful or could be harmful and has decided not to do it. Oh yeah, the poor babushka being spun in circles, I know. But how do you not laugh when you see that video? I'm sorry. I know that poor old woman was terrified, but goddamn if that's not funny shit. I mean, it's a makeup vlogger, not to denigrate the entire demographic, but isn't it sort of inherently trivial and superficial thing to make into your main concern? So socialization is, it provides a positive benefit in people's lives, and people have hobbies. So I don't see a makeup vlogger as any different from a woodworker or a sword maker that like vlogs as sword making, or a travel vlogger or a food vlogger. They're all, you know, like people have interests, right? And one of them is makeup. And a lot of the people, I don't watch a lot of makeup bloggers, and I'm not aware of their community a whole lot. But from what I have talked to people who do watch some of that shit, and they tell me that like a lot of it isn't even really about makeup. They'll do their makeup while they're talking about something else. So it's kind of like what I do, but they just provide the makeup putting on tutorial as a visual while they're talking about like politics or religion or something that happened to them. Just doing what I do here, yeah, and that's cool. Like how what I'm not trying to shit on that. That's the same thing we do. We're like a trivia in trivial interest podcast. Not trivial in terms of its, impact, but trivial in terms of its nature. It's like we cover trivia, historical trivia, movie trivia, fucking modern trivia, politician trivia, and we do some fun stuff that isn't just trivia, but most of our show is about different kind of trivia topic every show.
You do Flash Fried, but you're not fucking Walter Cronkite covering.
Dude, I swear to God, if people wouldn't fucking throw a pitch a fit because my salty ass wasn't there, I would have bowed out of that goddamn fucking shit a long time ago. I don't like doing Flash Fried. And I'll tell you what, it's gotten better. We've started to pull some less like, here's the drum beat of what everybody's talking about politically, and some more like stuff that we can goof on. And that's what I like about Flash Fried. Those are the times I'm enjoying myself. When I have the auspices to put on the fucking Joker character.
Like the nun story.
Yeah. Make some Batman jokes or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? That's when I'm having fun. Otherwise, I'm just basically suffering through that show. So people like it. Yeah. Every once in a while I get real mad and yell, and that's why I'm there.
So, if you guys want Paul to stay on Flash Fried, find weird, funny stories and not depressing.
I'm not going anywhere any fucking way. Let's be real. Like I said, dude, if I just disappeared from Flash Fried, like we've done these 2-man Flash Frieds before, but even when Scotty was gone, people were like, there was a bunch of people in the chat, and some of them were probably memeing, but some of them weren't. They were like, where's fucking Scotty? What the fuck? Like, what? Why no Scotty? Why no Scotty? I want you to think about 2 Flash Frieds in a row where there's no Paul and we haven't addressed it. Dude, people will go fucking ape shit because I'm not there on the off chance that I get so salty I scream, So that's what I do. I sit back and I try and find reasons to use one of my characters and get salty when something really pisses me off because people like that. But it's just my least favorite piece of content that we make. It just feels rote. It feels like something everybody does. Let's go through the headlines. It's like everybody's already gone through the fucking headlines. Let's focus on one headline and do a whole show on that. That'd be cool. Like that type of, but people wouldn't be interested in that. They want to hear the fucking variety. So let's focus on whatever the big news story is that day, and let's do a whole fucking hour-long show on that, or do 1 hour on that and then 1 hour on another story. Like deep examination. Let's read it. Let's fucking talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's pick it apart. That would be more like one of the shows that we do, right? That would be more like just an episode of Flash Fried. Slowly but surely, what I want, or an episode of Deep Fat Fried. What I want Flash Fried to be is slowly but surely morphing into just a DFF episode. So it just has to stay the way it is for now. That's just the way it is. Whew, man, yeah, we had a meeting today. I told you guys, I think, during the early one, and it was a long one. It was a long and, oh my God, it was a long one. But we got it done, you know what I mean? We got a lot done. A lot was accomplished. But fuck me, man. It went good. Everything's gravy train, biscuit wheels. I really don't think that there's going to be a meetup, unfortunately. We just don't have time to plan a meetup for fucking July. Even if we'd started 2 weeks ago, it wouldn't have been enough fucking time. We need time to get that shit. But we're all super interested, and not to reveal too much, but it is going to be part of our itinerary to get together probably way more than 2, probably 3, 4, 5 times a year to make content together. Where we all, either I fly to the guys if they're living in the same place, or we all congregate in one spot. Is my job fun? Fuck yeah, my job is fun. Hell yeah, my job is fun. Sad news? What's sad news? I just told
No
you.
meetup.
Oh, no meetup in July. I mean, I know. You guys just got to be fucking patient. You got to understand, like, COVID restrictions just ended here in California.
Probably like 75% of venues are still confused as shit.
It's crazy. It's a little. It's just too last minute. You can't do the last minute shit. So I understand. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but just stay tuned, right? I'm here in California. It makes sense for the guys to fucking fly here. I can get back and forth to LA real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, just because we're not doing it this time doesn't mean that there won't be a next time. So just stay tuned. Yeah, it's a big old glass of water. I've already had one of those today. I'm working on my number 2.
This is your number 3, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I had one during the meeting that I drank all of. Yeah, I think
you had one this morning too, so this might be your 4th.
Dude, I drink a lot of fucking goddamn water. What can I say? I keep myself hydroed. I have to.
It's like fucking 2% humidity or some shit out here.
Yeah. Dude, I got wet insides, bro. Top 3 hip-hop artists all time. All right, you paid $5, so we'll go through it. Top 3 hip-hop artists all time. We're going to go with MC Ricky D / The Ruler Rick / Slick Rick. He's number 1. He hits the top spot. Number 2, I have to go with Slim Shady. Sorry, just pound for pound, the best MC out there. And then number 3, all time, we're talking all motherfucking time. Snoop? I'm just thinking about like cultural impact and shit. Rev Run could be on that list. There's tons of people that could be on this fucking list, but I'm just thinking like Snoop. Because really, like, Snoop, you may not fucking like him all that much, but he changed the way fucking rap sounded. He just, Pac is another one that should maybe be on the list. Doom, I don't put him on the fucking list. It doesn't mean that he's not great. It just means he ain't up there with the fucking absolute top 3. You know what I mean? Doom would definitely probably make my top 5, but they asked for my top 3, and I gave it.
I mean, Snoop's cultural impact, like, he's still fucking doing shit here and there.
He's still a meme.
Yeah.
People still listen to his music. He changed it. He changed the whole game up. Changed the sound. You know what I mean? Changed the flow. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people like that in hip hop that maybe could have got that spot, but you asked for mine. I mean, Slick Rick just like fucking reinvented the game. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the bling game that's happening, he's pretty much to thank for that. There were other rappers at the time that were doing bling, but not like Slick Rick. He was the first dude to go over the top, get these giant plates, these big ass donkey rope chains, the diamond eye patch and shit. He was just dripping in swagger from the jump. He just fucking jumped on that shit, and he was just like. And now you look at the fucking way that rappers present themselves, and they're iced out top to bottom. You know what I mean? That's Slick Rick started that whole part of the culture. He was one of the first MCs to start dressing that way and start presenting himself that way with that kind of cool swagger. You know what I mean? And you can't deny the fucking influence that has, especially on modern rap. Fucking A. Snoop sounds too boring to you. Well, I mean, whatever.
I mean, he's more of like an OG, so if you're listening to a bunch of new shit and then just hear Snoop, it's probably not.
I mean, his flow is different, right? His flow is different than a modern guy's flow. So if you're into more modern rap and shit, I could see that, but don't get it twisted. Like there's a real definite like fucking impact that Snoop had on everybody that you listen to that you do like. Trust me. Does Slick Rick have albums or just singles? Because I've never heard a full. Yeah, there's storytelling. He has a few albums. There's a bunch of them.
Google is your friend with that.
Yeah. My interest in rap is 50-50 with old and new. Hey, look at you, buddy. The sublime 50-50 mix. I like it all, man. I like it all. I like old, I like new, I like borrowed, I like blue. I'm confident in saying that Eminem would have eventually made it without Dre's help. It's cool. He didn't have to, but I think he could have. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't matter, right? Like, Beethoven might have made it without the people that promoted his first fucking concerts and started using his music and shit, you know? Maybe he would have made it, but maybe not, you know? That's an immaterial. Like, Dr. Dre saw the talent in Eminem, saw the potential in him as an artist, and lifted him up out of the, you know, kind of like fucking ground floor and gave him a career. That's it. And that's a good solid, and it's a good eye on fucking Dr. Dre, who also discovered Snoop and gave him a fucking career, and Eazy-E and gave him a fucking career. So let's be real. This is a Dr. Dre specialty. You got an eye for that, but that doesn't take away from the talent. That just means that Eminem got in the right fucking place at the right time, got in front of the right set of eyes.
Well, that's just as much of a skill you need as an artist as actually performing, is connects and shit.
Right.
You gotta market yourself just as well as you perform.
Of course. I mean, all the greats are ruthless self-promoters. I mean, especially in hip-hop, dude. That's part of the bravado of hip-hop, promoting yourself over other people. You know what I mean? I'm the best there is. I mean, you hear that out of every MC. They can't all be fucking telling the truth, right? So it's just part of the culture, right? I mean, even that fucking dumb shit Beauregard talks about how he came on the scene and everybody else came to the end. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is he? It's part of the culture. Victor Vaughn thought he was better than Doom. Okay. I love you, Paul, but don't talk shit on my boy. Oh, sorry, Marshall. I know you and him are tight, but whatever. I just don't. I mean, he's all right, I guess, but I just don't trust that shady fuck, you know what I mean? I think he's gonna stab you in the back, Marshall. You better watch yourself around that Beauregard fuck. He looks like he would sell his mama's butthole on the black market for a buffalo nickel. You know what I mean? You seen that guy? Y'all keep beefing, but I genuinely think you would get along if you just talk. Nah, dude. Nah, man. I hate that motherfucker, and he hates me. He's always talking shit. I know he talks shit to you about me all the fucking time. Probably wants to write a diss track on me or some shit. Not gonna be too long if I'll be getting me too'd by Beauregard and shit. Gonna call me out for all my shit. I'm fucked. I like beef for dinner sometimes. Yeah, me too. I also remember when I used to have to eat sardines for dinner. Paul and Beauregard mix like water and oil. Yep. Totally fucking agree with that shit, dude. I'm nothing like that fucking guy. Money obsessed and fucking sexually promiscuous and all about like fucking flexing with no substance and shit. Nah, dude. It's not my guy. Couldn't be further apart. You homeless? You remember that? Dude, that story is so fucked up. Man, that just gave me a wake up call, that story. I was walking in Santa Fe, just dressed normal. Homeless lady walks up to me and says, "Sir, are you homeless?" And I was like, no, I'm walking to my hotel. She goes, oh, well, I am. And do you think you could, And I was like,
I mean, that could have just been a grift.
maybe. I don't know.
Like, just make you, like, plummet your self-esteem.
That's not a good way to get somebody saying they look homeless is not typically, I think, a good, but maybe it is. I don't know. I didn't give her anything.
You gotta try out different grifts.
I guess so. Roasted by a homeless, I know. Roasted by a homeless. It's true. That is a legendary story, I know. And in response, I changed absolutely nothing about how I present myself. I still walk around looking exactly the same. It's whatever. I got that homeless drip. No, I'm about comfort, dude. I just like being comfy. That's all. Just let me be comfy. Hasn't this happened multiple times? No. Only one time in Santa Fe. One time in old Santa Fe.
I choose to believe it was a grift. Some weird reverse psychology.
You're probably right.
You were just strong enough to resist it.
I was just like, nah. I just walked away. All right, well, I'm going to end this. Thank you guys for chilling. I'll see you next time. Bye.